Well, hello everyone and welcome to another episode here on the MIgardener channel. I know you all are going to love this one because this episode is going to be how to reduce weeds by simply watering smarter. So what we do oftentimes in the garden is we like to, I'm saying we as in everyone that's ever had a garden, is we like to just take the water and just wave it everywhere. However, not only is that wasteful on water because your plants don't have roots that extend, 2 feet, 3 feet out, or at least most plants don't. And so by simply watering the entire garden bed makes the soil look very pretty. But what you're doing is you're helping all of those weed seeds to germinate. The top of the soil contains many millions of weed seeds. And over a single bed, you might have 50 to 100 weed seeds that are ready to sprout. They just need that water to do so. And a lot of gardeners, they neglect to weed. So once those weeds start and they get a foothold, well, then you're pretty much out of luck and you have a very weedy garden. But if you're someone who is, has enough time to water, but does not have enough time to weed, you can drastically cut down on the amount of weeding that you have to do by simply watering smarter. And so I'm going to bring you guys in close so you can see what I'm talking about when I water my plants. Now, I don't have as much of a problem with weeds because of the methods that I grow, and I do hope that you will adapt some of the methods of how we grow and stuff like that in a very high density planting. Because when the plants are really dense, we'll talk about it in some future episodes, when the plants are really dense, the leaves and the foliage help block out the weeds and take all the nutrients and water. So they really, they beat the weeds at their own game. So if you can buy your plants enough time to get started and kind of get that jump start, oftentimes weeds don't have a chance. But I know there's a lot of people that don't like to garden like that, and that's okay too. Everyone has their own methods. So this video will still apply to those that garden the way I garden, because it does, like I said, conserve water, which costs quite a bit of money in the city here. So we like to water smarter. And that helps to save money. It also reduces the amount of water and the amount of time that we are watering. It also is really great for just overall plant health, because when you water in a single spot, it actually, when you water over top of a big area, you think a lot of water has come out. Well, a lot of water has, but divided by the amount of square feet that you've watered, you probably only have maybe about 1 inch of water coverage, which is relatively very shallow. And what I prefer to do is to water right around the base of the plant, but water a lot. So that means you get a really deep watering, and that's where you get deep versus shallow watering. Now, seedlings have shallow root systems, but you can still deep water them because the water down below in the soil is going to act as a water reservoir. Where in the soil, you have many layers of soil for the sun to go through to prevent evaporation. Right on the surface, you're going to get a lot of evaporation, and you're going to have a ton of stress on your plants if that's all you water is that top layer, because the sun is going to be taking that water away, the wind is going to be taking that water away, and not to mention you're going to be sprouting weed seeds, which is the biggest thing we want to prevent here, especially in this episode. But the deep watering will allow your plants to access that deep water, allowing the top of the soil to dry out, not allowing those weed seeds to germinate, and it's also going to give you the deep watering, which is going to help with drought tolerance overall, because your plant's roots are going to be trained to go down deeper to access the water, so you actually have to water less as well. So coming in close, I'll show you what I'm talking about, and I think you guys are going to enjoy this because who doesn't love saving water? All right, let's go. So I'm going to show you what a lot of people typically do, and I'm going to show you why you don't want to do it. So this is, I know I'm doing it the wrong way, so you don't need to remind me in the comments. But a lot of people like to see their soil wet, all of their soil. For some reason, I don't know why, but they think this is really attractive. I mean, it makes the soil look darker, makes the soil look way more fertile, but that's about it. I mean, it really doesn't do a whole lot for you. And yes, it's quicker. Yes, it seems like you're getting more done, but you're really not. You're really not getting a whole lot more done, and you're actually spending more time than you need to, because watering each individual plant is actually a lot quicker. Now, what I was talking about is I felt like a lot of water came out, and probably a lot of water did. I probably had about 2 or 3 gallons that came out over the course of that watering period. But if I peel this back, Look at this. It just peels back because the top maybe, oh my goodness, that was even more successful than I figured it'd be, because the top maybe a quarter of an inch is wet, and anything below that is bone dry. Well, relatively bone dry because we have really good compost, and it holds on to water pretty well. But I mean, this stuff is just, you could scratch off the wet layer and just see the bone dry layer underneath. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it whatsoever. So what I like to do is go around each individual plant and water them this way. And if it runs off, if it runs away, that's going to happen. But it's not as bad as just doing this. This does not do anything, folks. Don't do that. It just makes the soil look wet, and it gives you a facade of having a good garden, but your plants will not appreciate it. So I typically hold it here for 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, and that's about good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as the plants grow up, I'll probably extend that to maybe 6 or 7 seconds, and it also depends on how many gallons per minute the head is. So this head is about 2.5 gallons per minute. So you have a case in which if I hold this for around 5 or 6 seconds, I've got about 1/8 of a gallon around this plant, roughly, maybe about 1/8 to 1/7 of a gallon, which is fine for this size of plant. But again, I'll extend that as the plant grows and has more water needs later on. And it's also going to make sure that water goes down deeper as well for the larger plant that has a larger root system. So everything is kind of scaled up as your plants grow. But this method applies to all your plants. And sometimes I'll just go around the plant in like a circle like that to make sure that it does not run away. It allows time for the water to absorb into the soil instead of running away. So by going in a circle, it buys you a little time so that by the time you come back around again, it's not going to be flooding too much. So that is how we water smart to reduce weeds, increase plant growth, and decrease stress on your plants. So this is a really simple thing that you can be doing in the garden to help you out, help get more success, and conserve some water as well and save some money. So hopefully you all enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully this made you think about how you're watering and how it could be possibly affecting the success of your overall garden. So I do hope you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something new. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel reminding you to grow big or go home. See ya. Bye.